I love hats. I love every kind of hat. I just want to hug them all, but I can't. I can't hug every hat. Hello, YouTube, and welcome to the Top 10 Hats in Video Games! An opinion piece. Video games are no stranger to the fashion scene. Almost every video game character has an alternate costume, and many games give you the option to customize your character's appearance. I myself have a hat collection, and I just like hats in general. So I was thinking of ideas for my next top 10 list, and I figured, why not make a list about the top 10 hats? So before I set out on this list, I need to set up the parameters on what the hat needs to make it onto this list. I guess to be considered a hat, all it has to do is cover the top of your head. Also include crowns and visors, even though I don't think there's any on this list. Also, one hat per franchise. I definitely take the aesthetics into account, but points are scored on the usefulness, on making the player better when it sits upon their grimy little head. Let's go! Alright, I'm getting this out of the way right now, because I know there will be hell to pay later if I don't include it. But Team Fortress 2 hats, whichever one you like right now. There are hundreds! In fact, I'll have a picture right now, Pan, that has a picture someone drew of every single one of the hats in the game, which is impossible. But yeah, I don't really play PC games, and even if I did, I could not afford Team Fortress 2's exorbitant fee on Steam. But when you're talking about hats on the internet, it's only a matter of time before the blue spy bursts through the door, sporting this season's most stylish headwear. Alright, this game isn't even out yet, and it seems to be a PC exclusive. But if any game gets me to actually enjoy putting down a controller in place of a mouse and keyboard, it'll probably be this fun-looking game. I really like how it looks and the music of what I've heard so far, but what I really like is her little top hat. One thing that scares me, though, is the screenshots look like she has multiple hats at her disposal. And with a game name like A Hat in Time, I'd be willing to wager that each different hat has a different ability. Ones that might make it 100% necessary to remove the top hat, which I would really hate. I mean, look at the top hat. Look at it! If you own this hat, would you ever take it off for any reason? No? I didn't think so. So A Hat in Time, please make it possible for me to leave the hat on. If different hats give you different powers, please give me the option of, like, putting a different ribbon on the hat to get the power or something. Alright, this is a bit of a cop-out since it's a little confusing to explain, and sometimes it's not a hat but a wig, but this list was really difficult to make. At about 7, I ran out of ideas. And come on. Top 7 hats in video games! Who the heck makes a top 7 list? Well, maybe the Mayans would, but they're extinct. Probably because of their cruddy top 7 lists. So to avoid my slave populace rising up against me, or having the Spanish just pillage the crap out of me, I'm going to fake this a bit and say, Kirby's powers! Not just in Brawl, but any game. He sucks someone up, and it usually gives him a cool headpiece to represent which brand new attack he has. Alright, this one seems a little bit stupid. I mean, if someone else wears it, they're looking as cool as a shfool. In fact, I tried wearing it for a stint, but the only drawback is you're as blind as a wombat. Wait a second, how the heck can I see out of the eyes and the mouth? Do I have eyes in my mouth? Regardless, this hat, if you can even actually call it that, has a very unique ability. But first, I need to talk about one of Minecraft's enemies, the Slender Man. This tall weirdo is a freak of nature, and he knows it. What with his long string bean arms, his squinty purple eyes, and his lack of hygiene, hey, it's not his fault water hurts him. If you look at him, he gets extremely self-conscious and decides to teleport around you really fast and kill you. I mean, that's how I deal with it whenever I get self-conscious. But if you put the pumpkin on your head, the Slender Man chills out. Maybe he knows that the pumpkins are kind and polite and never would pass judgment. But the pumpkin allows you to get close and stab him in the kidney pretty easily, as I'll show in this 4-second clip from PBG's Hardcore series, which I didn't ask permission to use.
Ready? What? How do I find PBG? I'll go find him.
Let's go.
Oh!
Now, for most 90s kids, Pierce Bronson is their Bond. And not because they saw any of the Bond movies, or at least they shouldn't have, those were PG-13, but because the wildly accepted best FPS on the N64, 007 GoldenEye. Hear that, Perfect Dark? I'm calling you out! Now, when you played GoldenEye, there was one rule you had to follow on multiplayer, and that was to not play proximity mines only. Okay, there were two rules, and that second rule was no Oddjob! The short little cheater was on a whole nother level. Literally. So after being on the multiplayer of our Bowden list, naturally in the next Bond game they want to make Oddjob fair, right? Wrong! While the height difference was fixed, they decided to do something totally unfair. While everyone in multiplayer started out with a PP7, they decided to give Oddjob, and Oddjob alone, a free golden gun equivalent with one shot. As you can guess from the films and the name of this list, it was his sweet fedora! That's right, Oddjob's hat. It's a free insta-kill item you get from choosing him. 3 shots to the chest? Not a problem! Hat to the arm? Instant painful death! In first-person shooters, HUDs are pretty standard. I mean, I always assume a soldier has to be aware of his ammo supply and his aim reticle, but the Halo games actually give that chore to the helmet, which the idea is really cool and actually makes sense. So number 5 is the Spartan helmet. Aside from looking pretty sweet, it also keeps your head meat safe from small rounds fire. And on the last level of Halo Reach, you realize how much the HUD means to you, because if you take enough damage on that level, your helmet will actually stop working. Oh no! Where are my bullets going? Wait, where are my bullets? Wait, where's my health? Oh no! And you know a hat is cool if it can make a schlub like me look cool. Animal Crossing is a superb game. Definitely worth owning if you have any of the 4 systems it's been out on. And with a wide array of character customization, there are some cool choices. My favorite head item is Majora's Mask, but that's a mask, and this is hats, not masks. And we're picking not masks, but hats. So the hat I choose that isn't a mask is the King Tut mask. See? It's a hat, not a mask, despite its name. Or at least it meets this list's prerequisites for being a hat. Let me explain why it's placed on this list. First off, it's 12,000 bells, which makes it significantly more than most of the hat items in the game, without being retardedly overpriced. So it takes an hour or 2 worth of work to obtain, and when you get it, you feel pretty accomplished. And its solid gold appearance is beautiful. And it's Egyptian. And Egyptian stuff is cool. But something really unique about the King Tut mask is it has an ancient curse on it. Listen to the curse being unleashed when you put it on. You want more evidence? Well, look at this. Can you read it? Neither can I, but I'll pretend that I'm reading the curse to you. Whosoever places on this mask, be him among the realm of the living, and not on a journey to eternity, shall be cursed so long as they wear this mask, with the inevitable fate of falling down a lot. The game guide said you could get Katrina to remove the curse, but I think it lied. I guess you could say, I've been met with a terrible fate, haven't I? So MG! Ben Drown confirmed! The Grey Cowl! Alright, kitty, sit back and I'll tell you the story of the Grey Cowl.
Once upon a time, in the magical land of Tamriel, a sorcerer had a cowl that he liked very much, and he learned somebody wanted to steal it from him.
So rather than put a spell on it that killed someone who put it on, he put a very cool spell that would ruin the thief's life even worse than death. Whosoever wears the cowl, their face and memory will be deleted from everyone he has ever met, and everyone after that. So the cowl got stolen anyway, and the guy put on the mask, and his life got ruined. And he decided to become the Grey Fox. And much like the Dread Pirate Roberts, every few years, the Grey Fox just appoints a new Grey Fox. Until one fateful day, the current Grey Fox got sick of his wife not recognizing him. So he formulated a plan to steal an Elder Scroll, which in the Elder Scrolls universe is the equivalent of stealing the Declaration of Independence. And it is a super fun quest. I would recommend to anyone who gets a chance to play Oblivion. Heck, it's even funner than the Fallout 3 mission where you steal the actual Declaration of Independence. Eventually the spell is lifted and you get the Cowl with a ton of buffs that make you better at parkour than Faith, without the side effect of your face being obliterated from everybody's memory. Now with all the hats that give you benefits for wearing them, you'd expect number 2 to have a pretty cool side effect, and you'd be a big old dingus for thinking that. Number 2 is the coolest looking hat of all time, belonging to the one, the only, Professor Herschel mother-effing Layton. The biggest pimp daddy in video game history. He is the very definition of a gentleman and a scholar. There isn't a woman alive, and very few men who don't want to bear his children. But being the smooth gentleman he is, he refuses all offers. His only passion is puzzles. He's basically the video game equivalent of Nikola Tesla, except he has an awesome hat, so he's even better than him. However, the hat may be the source of his knowledge.
Alright, let's check it out. Why? Professor Layton and Trucy Wright! They're the parents of the Hat in Time girl.
Or at least his hat is the father, and Trucy's hat is the mother. Alright, if you're going to be a hat that can beat out the professor, you've got to be a dang good hat. And this one has been in over 2,000 games since 1972. It is by far the most recognized hat in the world with international appeal. It's me, Mario's hat! Mario's hat is so iconic you can show it to almost anyone and they can tell you who it belongs to. In fact, Mario looks almost unrecognizable without it on. And to add to its awesomeness, I'm picking Mario's hat from the game Super Mario 64 DS, where you can play as 3 other characters who aren't Mario. However, some stars can only be obtained by Mario, whether it's because of his specialty to fly, or some character's snootiness towards non-Mario characters. If you find the plumber's hat, you actually become him. Let's see if it works in real life.
So bro, did it work? Are you Mario now? I don't know. Well, I don't feel any remorse for my actions, so I guess not.
Watch Game Theory. New episodes every so often. So there you have it. Human Gaming's top 10 hats in video games. I'm sure you're probably flabbergasted that a hat missed the cut. But it didn't, my friend. It lives on in the comments. Through you. So go ahead and tell me your favorite hat in a video game. Also, check out PBG's Hardcore Series, Game Theory, or another one of my top 10s. If you do so, So while capturing footage for this top 10 list, I had my friend Swang Imp65 be a model for the Minecraft pumpkin. What I didn't tell him, however, was that the catwalk I built was built on top of over 144 pieces of TNT. So, at first he came out and
I thought it was good, you know.
But I decided I would have his
Turn
fashion
around,
career go out in the
bend
bang.
down
Here's the clip.
to the crowd. I should have known. Oh, I should have known. I should have, but I didn't.